It's another episode of Tales with Rhamy, and if you are new here, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Rhamy, and over here I share amazing stories sent to me by my followers and listeners. And if this is what you love, kindly stick with me and don't forget to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. So without further delay, let's just dive into our first story of today. Today I'm sharing two stories. So let's get right into it. Story number 1. I learned the hard way that not everyone smiling at you in the office is happy for you. Some people will act like your friend, give you gifts, and still be the reason you almost get fired. This is a story of how one small thank you gift nearly destroyed my life at work. I work at a small private company in Accra. I have been there for about 3 years. I am not management level, but I have always taken my work seriously. I show up early, meet deadlines, and stay out of gossip. I am quiet, but I get things done. Everything was normal until about 6 months ago when a new lady joined our department. Let's call her Esther, not her real name. From her first day, she was polite and soft-spoken, the type everyone easily likes. She had this calm way of talking that made her sound humble. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, Esther is such a nice girl." We clicked easily. I helped her understand how things worked around here, how to submit reports, which supervisor to avoid when he's in the mood, even where to buy lunch. At first, it felt like having someone good to talk to. We would eat lunch together, laugh over random office drama, and she would sometimes walk me to the bus stop after work. After about 2 weeks, she started giving me small gifts, a cute pen one day, a notebook the next, then a mug that said best co-worker. I laughed and told her she didn't need to do that. She just smiled and said, "You've been so kind to me. It's nothing." It felt harmless, sweet even. But looking back now, that was the beginning of everything. One Friday, just before closing time, our supervisor stormed into the office looking furious. He said a client's laptop had gone missing. Everyone froze. He told us no one was leaving until bags and drawers had been checked. Security came in and searched everyone. It was awkward, people whispering, pretending to be calm. Nothing was found, but the atmosphere changed after that day. The next few days felt tense. People started side-eyeing each other, gossiping quietly. I didn't think much of it. I just focused on my work. But that Friday evening, as I was packing my things to leave, I found a small wrap box on my desk. There was no name, just a sticky note that said, "For you, thank you for always being kind." I smiled a little, thinking maybe it was Esther. I opened it. It was a bracelet, a really beautiful one, with tiny silver beads and a folded note inside that read, "Keep this safe." It felt a little strange, but I didn't think too deeply. I slipped it into my bag and went home. On Monday morning, I walked into the office feeling fine, but barely 30 minutes later, 2 security guards came in and called my name. Everyone looked up. "Please come with us to HR," one said. My heart started pounding. I followed them quietly. When we got there, my HR manager, the admin officer, and my supervisor were already seated. On the table was that same bracelet I had received on Friday. The HR looked straight at me and said, "Someone reported that they saw you near the client desk before the laptop went missing, and this bracelet was found inside your drawer this morning." I froze. I couldn't even speak. That bracelet was in my bag, not in my drawer. I said, "That's not possible. Someone gave it to me." But they just looked at each other. My HR said calmly, "We will check the cameras. For now, we need you to write a statement." I walked out of the room shaking. People were staring at me and whispering. I had never felt that kind of humiliation before. The next few days were the longest of my life. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, what if they actually believe I stole something? Then on Wednesday, HR called me again. They had reviewed the CCTV footage from that Friday evening, and guess who they saw? Esther. After everyone had closed and left, she was captured walking to my desk. She looked around, opened my drawer, and placed something inside. It was the bracelet. My mouth dropped. I couldn't believe it. The girl who had been smiling at me every day, sharing food with me, calling me sis, she was the one who set me up. They called her in, and at first she denied it, but after watching the footage herself, she broke down crying. She confessed to everything. She said she overheard that I was being considered for a promotion, and she got jealous. She wanted me gone so she could take my position. Hey! She had planned everything. The gift, the fake friendship, and even the thank you note, all part of making me look guilty when she planted that bracelet. Esther was fired immediately, but for me, things never went back to normal. Even though I was cleared, people still whispered. Some avoided me, some pretended like nothing happened, but I could feel the difference. My promotion was quietly postponed. They said, let's wait and see. Until today, I'm still there, doing my job quietly, but something in me changed. Now, when someone is overly nice at work, I take a step back. When someone gives me a gift, I hesitate because I learned the hard way that in the workplace, jealousy wears a smile, but sometimes it sits right next to you, pretending to be your friend. Hey! We need to be careful who we let close to us at work. Not every gift is from the heart. I am so sorry you went through that. Sometimes it's the people we trust the most that hurt us the worst. But I'm glad you stayed strong, because no one deserves to have their kindness being used against them. You are strong. Some people would have left the work. All the best, babes. If you have any advice for this sender, just write story number 1 and leave your advice. Now we'll move on to story number 2. Story number 2. I met him at a friend's birthday dinner in East Legon. I honestly wasn't even planning to go, but my best friend begged me to come along. She said I had been too stressed from work and needed to relax. He walked in late, tall, neatly dressed, well-spoken, and that kind of quiet confidence that makes everyone notice when he enters the room. He came over to greet our table, and from the moment he said hello, he had this calm charm that drew me in. He introduced himself as Kwame, not his real name. He said he was single, focused on his work, and just taking life one day at a time. We walked the whole night. He asked about my job, my hobbies, my family, and for once I felt like someone was actually listening. So when I got home, he texted, "You are the most beautiful woman in the room." I smiled like a teenager. It had been a long time since anyone made me feel that seen. Everything after that felt easy. He called me every morning, texted throughout the day, checked on me before bed. He wasn't rich, but he was thoughtful, and sometimes that's better. He would bring me food from my favorite spot at Ajingano, or send an Uber just because I didn't want to take trotro. He never made me feel like I was asking for too much. He was consistent, attentive, and kind. I told my best friend, I think I have finally met a serious man. She laughed and said, "Just watch small, these men can act." We both laughed it off, but deep down, I prayed she was wrong. About a month in, small things started changing. He used to pick up my calls instantly. Now it took minutes. He used to video call freely. Now he would say, "I'll call you back, my phone battery is low." And weekends, suddenly he was busy. He would say, "Oh, I have a church thing." "Oh, my cousin is around." "Oh, I'll call you back later." At first, I didn't want to overthink it. People have lives, right? But then one night while we were on a call, I heard a small child's voice in the background. I laughed and said, "Hey, who is that? You have a kid you are hiding from me." He went quiet for a few seconds and said, "Oh no, that's my neighbor's son. He is always shouting." Something about how quickly he said it felt off, but I brushed it off. Because when you care about someone, you don't want to believe your instinct. The calls became shorter. The texts got fewer. Then I'll ask, "Are you okay?" He will say, "Just tired." Then I'll ask to see him. He will say, "Soon." I started feeling like I was in a relationship with a ghost. Then one day, he told me he had to travel to Kumasi for a few days for work. I told him safe travels. He didn't text much that weekend, which wasn't new at this point, but something about it made my chest feel heavy. He came back the following week acting completely normal, but I could sense the distance. You know, when someone's there but not really there anymore, that is how I felt. A few days later, he came by my apartment to drop off something I had left in his car. He looked distracted, but I didn't ask questions. After he left, I realized he had forgotten his second phone on my couch. I wasn't trying to snoop. I really wasn't, but when the screen lit up, a message popped up from someone saved as my love. Hey! I honestly expected something like that. The message said, "Please don't forget the kids' snacks tomorrow." My heart dropped. I opened the chat. Pictures. A woman with 2 little children. Him with them, smiling like the perfect family man. They were not cousins, not neighbors, a whole family. Rhamy, I sat there shaking. The same man who said he was single had a wife and children. When he came back for his phone, I acted calm. I didn't mention anything right away. He smiled, hugged me and said, "I missed you." Man. That's when I handed him my phone and said quietly, "Your wife texted. She said the kids need snacks." He froze. His face went blank. Then he sat down shakily and said, "It's not what you think." I just looked at him. "It's not what you think. Then what is it?" He sighed and said, "Things are complicated. We are not really together. I didn't plan to fall for you." I couldn't even cry at first. I just felt numb. I said, "You didn't fall for me. You lied to me. You made me fall for a man who doesn't exist." Then I told him to leave. He didn't say another word. He just walked out quietly. I cried for weeks, not just because I lost him, but because I lost trust. I started questioning everything, every word, every memory, every smile. How can someone lie so perfectly and look you in the eyes while doing it? He tried to call me later to apologize. I blocked him everywhere. I didn't need closure. I needed peace. Till today, I still see his WhatsApp views from an unknown number, but I don't care anymore because I realized something. Sometimes God lets you find out the truth not to break you, but to protect you. I'm so sorry you went through that. You didn't deserve any of that. No woman deserved to be lied to. He was supposed to come clean to you. And I know that even if he told you the truth, there's no way you're going to date a married man. That was so wrong. Sometimes healing begins when you let go. And I'm so glad you did this for yourself and then you moved on and you blocked him. You don't need that negativity in your life. And guys, I am done. If you've enjoyed the story so far, kindly don't forget to subscribe and like and share. And I'll see you in my next video.